You know what I was thinking? GC.
Yeah.
DC. Helwani. I feel like the new name of this segment should be, dare I say, GC and Helwani. What do you think?
Wow. I mean, I like it. It's a nice play on words. But,
Yeah.
I mean, is DC going to come for me for this?
I couldn't care less. First of all, DC's doing a show with some, two-bit jabron retired NFL player who no one's ever heard of.
Not a soul.
Who's heard of that guy? What has he done?
Super Bowl champion.
Yeah, what? Okay, what did he do in the Super Bowl? Like, really, what did he do? We claim that's not like saying UFC champion where the guy actually wins it. What did he do in the Super Bowl? Can we pull that up? I mean, what did he get, a tackle?
I don't know.
Like,
I don't even know who you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. Well, anyway, I have decided right here now that the new name of the segment, because we were throwing around names like betting with Burks and all this stuff, didn't really feel right. I went back, put the thinking cap on, GC and Helwani. Here we go. We got some picks, right?
We've got some picks, man. We got deep in the weeds this week. I got a Bellator play.
Oh my gosh, this is nuts.
I got a Bellator parlay as well. Then I got 5 single UFC plays. And we're going to do another UFC parlay as well.
And this time I said, do whatever you want. I didn't give you, like last time I said I want a parlay for 266. Yeah. This is all you. I said, Bellator would be fun. I didn't know if you'd go in the weeds or not. I guess we're about to find out. Without further ado, tell us what you have.
Yeah, the Bellator ask, it felt a little more demanding.
Get out of here. That's
Bellator,
not true.
We'll bring out Bellator Burks here. That's what we'll call him, getting deep in the weeds. It's a little afternoon delight for your Friday.
I like it.
Watch these on your lunch break. The prelims start at noon. We're in London, so it's early over there. Get the laptop out of work, stream it. So it's going to be a good day for Bellator 267. Only got one single play. It's the only fight on the card that the favorite isn't juiced to -175 or more. Had him on the show earlier. It's the main event, the welterweights. I'm going to take Michael Venom Page, MVP at even odds over Douglas Lima. This play is already on the move. Douglas Lima opened at -185 favorite. He's now plunged at every book to -105. It's basically a coin flip at every single book, and I actually expect Page to maybe even close as a slight favorite. Obviously, line movement doesn't always mean anything. Last week we saw Cody Brundage against Nick Maximov. He opened at +275, crashed all the way down to even. He still lost the fight, so you're really looking through a keyhole if you're just looking at line movement. It's pretty worthless. However, in Lima's last fight against Yaroslav Amosov, he opened at -200, bet all the way down to -110, and he did lose that fight. Again, might not mean anything, but it's interesting to see Douglas Lima in another fight with big line movement. Let's get into the fight itself, though.
I love that backstory stuff. I mean, that's the kind of insight that you wouldn't get anywhere else. That's why I feel like it's apropos that you have dubbed yourself the best gambling mind in the business already one weekend.
I have not dubbed myself that. We had a good week last week.
Let's
We're not even going to give it a great week. Listen, gambling, it's a humbling game.
Yeah.
So we're going to stay.
Oh, yeah. You're right. Because if you puff your chest out, you're going to lose. You believe in
gambling
that.
gods, man. They're always listening.
Like karma, like DJ was saying, you don't want to talk about karma, because it could come back. I get it. I understand.
Listen, as hot as you get.
Right.
My grandmother always told me, the next cold streak, it's always right around the corner.
That's right.
To the fight itself, though. Biggest concern, obviously, Page. It's the level of opponents that he faces. A lot of people says he's a can crusher. He just goes out there and fights cans. And, there is some validity to that. He's never been smaller than a -250 favorite outside of the Lima fights. And on multiple occasions, he's at -1,500, -1,600, even as big as -2,000. Those are fights that he basically is a lock to win those. While Lima, he's consistently fighting championship level opponents. He's been a champion himself. But I do believe, I went back and watched the first fight. I do believe that Page won the first round, obviously before getting KO'd in the second round early. But he mentioned on the show earlier, he learned a lot from that fight. He knows exactly what he did wrong. And I think he will learn from that last fight and use it in this one. Something that's big, they're in London. This is a guy that feeds off the crowd. It's the main event. I think that will be a boost for him in this one. Lima, he's on his first 2-fight losing streak since 2009. I think MVP makes it 3 here, so I'm going to go with MVP at even odds.
Okay, I like it.
All right.
Bellator Burks.
We're deep in this one.
Okay, let's go.
I mean, a lot of lopsided fights odd-wise in this one.
Yeah.
It gives you the potential to get a small plus money parlay going with some heavy favorites. But it's Bellator, man. It's a bunch of prospects, maybe not the most proven talent, so it can get a little risky. So we're going 4 legs with this one.
Okay, parlay.
Parlay.
All right.
Start with the bantamweight. Kershed Kakarov and minus. There you go. There you go. I knew you. Listen, I decided with Mysterious Frank beforehand we were going to leave the out of it. I decided we were going to leave the. You say it properly.
I tried to help you out. Well, first of all, like just to break the fourth wall here for a second, I said, just let me know who you're thinking, and you tell me. You say Kershed Kakarov, and I'm like, who is that? I've never even heard of this guy. I think it's Kershed Kakarov. He is in the opener, the curtain jerker of the Bellator card on Friday. I give you props.
I mean, you're watching this one eating your Subway
It's
at lunch. Your boss is sweating over your shoulder while you got this one streaming on the iPhone.
Right.
So we're really down in the weeds. It's against Jair Jr., not Jair Jones. You kept trying to tell me it was Jones. I said, no, it's Jair Jr.
Okay.
Yeah, it's first fight of the day. Two guys making their Bellator debut. Kakarov is 7-0. 6 of those wins by finish. Junior hasn't fought in 2 years, while Kakarov's, this will be his third fight in the last 12 months. He's been active, and he's been winning, and I think this is a fight that he's going to win. We'll move to leg 2. Lightweight Jack Grant coming in at minus 500 over Nathan Jones. This is two guys struggling. Grant, he's 2-3 in his last 5. However, all 3 of those losses were in Cage Warrior Championship fights against some recognizable names. Ian Gary, you've had him on the show. He's making his UFC debut in November. Jair Bear, he's already made his UFC debut, albeit he lost. And then Aji Sardari, he is a cage fighting championship as well, or a Cage Warriors champion as well. Jones, on the other hand, he's 2-5 in his last 7, much less capable talent. 13-10 overall. I think Grant gets back on track, so we'll back the Brit here in his hometown. Keep it moving. Leg 3, light heavyweight Luke Trainer, minus 450 over Yannick Bahati. It's an all-England matchup. What is it? What's getting you?
No, this is great. I love it. I mean, I wasn't expecting this so early. Here you are talking like a guy who's been watching the sport for 35 years. I love it.
I mean, it's been 35 years. You know these Bellator cards that people sleep on are the ones.
I know.
That
These
end
are
up
the
being
ones.
best.
Yes. Are these the ones for like the hardcore gamblers? Or are there such unknown fighters and the line so kind of wonky that a pro would stay away from this?
I mean, these are unknown guys.
Yeah.
Like, you're getting deep on the Tapology, the share dog pages. You're not finding these on Wikipedia.
Yeah. Most of them don't even have Wikipedia pages, for God's sakes.
Yeah, almost none of them.
Yeah.
I don't think any of them do, except for like a Michael Page and Douglas Lima. But Luke Trainer is a solid prospect. He's 4-0. All 4 wins by finish. Bahati, in his last 5, he's 1-4. All 4 losses coming by finish. Trainer, he's got the 4-inch height advantage, 5-inch reach advantage. So we're going to take Trainer to get a finish here. That prop's not available. So we'll just take him to win at minus 450, and he moves to 5-0 in his young career. Let's finish off the Bellator parlay.
Just want to say, Luke Trainer, one of the nicest people. Like, I've never actually met him, but his nickname is The Gent, and he does a ton of things, charitable things for young kids, and also is like chisel. I mean, the guy is just, he has 1% body fat. I don't know, but just seems like an absolute gent of a human being. So I will say I like the pick there, just because it seems like
there we go. You're making the pick easier for me with that. All right, finish us off. 4th leg, 5th ranked featherweight in Bellator. Leah McCourt coming in at minus 550. We'll take her over Jessica Borga. McCourt, she's 4-0 in Bellator. She actually handed the beast, Fiore. We were on her last week before we unfortunately lost her. Her only professional loss. So she's fought some pretty big name talent. Borg, on the other hand, she's 1-1 in the Bellator. Never beaten anyone over 500 or anyone with more than 3 wins. I think McCourt gets it done, and hopefully, because we cashed our UFC parlay. What doesn't spell winner more than a UFC parlay than a Bellator parlay? The early prelims too.
Oh my gosh!
But that would cash. Very small plus money at plus 111. Obviously, these are all big favorites.
I can't wait for the PFL parlay later on next month. That's going to be great.
Wow.
By the way, are you familiar with the actor Will Arnett?
Wow. Yes, I am. And you will be 15th.
Oh, really?
20th, 25th. Who knows how many people.
A lot of chatter on the MMA Fighting Slack channel right now that you sound exactly like Will Arnett.
Yeah, well.
How do you feel about that? I mean, I feel like that's a compliment. What a great... I mean, doesn't he do voiceover work?
Yeah. I mean, what does he do? Kit Kat right now?
I don't know what he does. Maybe a car.
I think he's the Kit Kat guy, yeah. Arrested Development.
Great podcast. You listen to the Smartless podcast?
No, that's his podcast.
Him, Jason Bateman, and Sean... Who is it?
Sean Hayes.
Sean Hayes. Who said that?
That's coming from Nick over here.
Wow, Nick getting involved.
Cool, man.
Yes, wow. Tremendous. Why, is Nick a fan? Okay, wow. Nick sounds like he's like underwater or something over there, but Mysterious Frank, I think, gives everyone a worse mic than him. He's got the top mic, but he wants everyone else to sound worse than him.
I don't think that's a conspiracy.
Typical audio guy. Anyway, great podcast if you're looking for a good podcast. You do sound a lot like him. It's fun. I like it. I think he's Canadian, too. Is he Canadian? Yeah, Will Arnett is Canadian, I believe. He's not from Georgia. He's definitely not from Georgia.
Yeah, but that is not the first time I've gotten that.
Really?
So, not like I swear, yeah.
Who said it? Mike Greenberg?
No. Mike Greenberg doesn't even know my name.
He doesn't. He has no idea. He definitely doesn't shoot. Yeah, Canadian. He doesn't shoot you as well as we do here. 51 from Toronto. All right, on to the UFC.
On to the UFC Fight Night. Santos versus Walker.
Yes.
We got 5 single plays.
No cage warriors, huh? Okay.
I don't have that much time, man. It's only one day between the shows.
That's true.
I'm in the lab for hours on end over here. But this is actually another earlier card. Prelims start at 4, main card starts at 7. We'll be to bed early on Saturday. It's going to be a good night. All right, we'll start with the single plays. We'll start with the prelims. I will start with the lightweights. Jamie Malarkey, I will take him inside the distance at plus 250 over to Devontae Smith. Malarkey's an outright dog here, but I don't think this fight is even going to go the distance, so why not take him to win inside the distance instead of just, the plus 130 of what he's going at right now. I know he lost his first 2 UFC fights, but being from Australia before UFC 260, which was supposed to be the OG Volk versus Ortega before getting canceled by COVID. He joined Alex Volkanovski's camp beforehand to train. He then comes out of UFC 260, faces Kama Worthy, knocks him out in 46 seconds. He gives a lot of credit to what he did because of that camp. And now leading up into this one, we obviously saw Volk last week. He trained with Volkanovski again leading up to this fight. He says everything's changed for him. He's going to come out even more improved than the last fight. He's going to have a higher IQ. I know, words are just words before you get into the actual octagon, but, the results are hard to argue. We saw Volkanovski win his 20th straight fight, defend his belt, put on one of the greatest performances we've ever seen. And, he's training with these guys. I know, obviously, he is not Volkanovski, though. An interesting note, he fought Volkanovski for the AFC featherweight title in 2016.
Look at this guy.
I do think this camp has boosted his confidence. I think it's boosted his skills. We saw it in the Kama Worthy fight. And a little basic UFC math, because this always translates perfectly. Malarkey knocks out Kama Worthy in the first round. Kama Worthy knocked out Devontae Smith in the first round. Ipso flipso. Malarkey is a live dog here, so I'm going to take him to get it done inside the distance at plus 250.
A lot of people say don't follow MMA math. You're saying actually follow it.
No, that was more of more of sarcasm.
Oh, okay, all right. Sorry,
I liked Malarkey anyway. That was just a note that I.
That is kind of crazy, though. That is kind of crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it is an interesting note. But I mean, I think this one's going to be a banger anyway. I think someone's going to end up getting knocked out. I'll get into that a little bit later on.
Okay.
Little tease there for
all right,
us.
I like it.
That's what we call
in the
radio
business.
industry.
Radio, TV could work in any kind of industry, but yes, media industry.
All right, let's get to the flyweights. A women's bout. The Scotstralian fighting out of Australia via Scotland. I'm going to take Casey O'Neill inside the distance at plus 140 over Antonina Shevchenko. It's tough to go against Shevchenko after what we saw her sister do last week, cashing us a ticket. We don't want to go against the family. But they're obviously 2 very different fighters. O'Neill, she comes in. She's a good prospect, touting a 7-0 record at only 23 years old. Won her last 3 fights by finish. Meanwhile, Shevchenko, she's 36, obviously the older sister of Valentina. She's turning 37 next month. She's 9-3. She's only had 12 fights over a career that spanned 2 decades, back to 2002. And in her last 5, she's just 2-3. And she's coming off a second-round submission to Andrea Lee. Lee was coming into that fight on a 3-fight win streak, and she had actually never finished anyone in the UFC before, so just not a good outing by Shevchenko there. So I like O'Neill not just to win. I think she wins inside the distance, so I'll take the plus money play at plus 140.
I like that pick. A lot of people very high on Casey O'Neill, training out of Las Vegas these days, undefeated, as I believe you mentioned. Yeah, a lot of people think she could be a player in that weight class, so I like that pick. I mean, it's tough for Shevchenko. She's living in the shadows of her sister. Her sister's an all-time great, and she's older. I don't know if she'll realize that potential. Very hard for anyone to realize the potential that Valentina has, and it feels like Valentina's getting better. So, yes, I think that's a good call.
Yeah, I mean, obviously when Valentina's in her corner, it always makes you a little bit more nervous.
Yes.
But I still like Casey O'Neill here inside the distance. We'll keep it rolling on the prelims. Lightweights, Joe Selecki, -130, taking him over Jared Gordon. So Gordon is actually been a featherweight his entire career. Couldn't make weight in his last fight, so now he's just moved up to lightweight. I think back when he was in featherweight, he used his size advantage to kind of bully opponents. Now he faces a reach disadvantage, and he's fighting someone more his size. He's also 3-3 in his last 6 fights. All of those losses coming by KO. Don't really have full confidence in his chin here. Meanwhile, Selecki, 5-fight win streak for him. He started off 3-0 in the UFC, so I'm actually going to take Selecki as a slight favorite here.
Oh, okay. I like it. Interesting. All right. How like, do you have a limit as to how many favorites you like to take, or does it matter? Because obviously there's more money to be made off the dogs, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously there's no value in losing. So if you're just playing dogs, you know, it's going to come back to bite you. But you don't want to just play favorites in the UFC.
Right.
I mean, it's such a sport that anything could happen at any moment, that, you know, underdogs are bound to win every single card.
Do you think that the odds makers haven't quite figured out the UFC like they do? Like, I've heard this, that the sport is still so young, and maybe there isn't the knowledge, the history, whatever. NFL, and it's a little bit tougher to win big in UFC because things are so volatile and unpredictable. Do you buy that, or do you think we've come to a point now where, you know, it's not as loosey-goosey? A few years ago, it felt like it was.
Yeah, I don't know, man. The volatility in this, like, I mean, you see -600, -500 favorites losing all the time in this sport. I mean, that happens across a lot of sports, though, too.
Does it?
Underdogs win more than you think they
Really?
do. You'll learn that, you know. Now you're taking unders in the Blue Jays game.
Right.
The more you bet, the more you realize underdogs win all the time.
Okay, all right.
And as I say that, I'm about to take another favorite.
Oh, damn. All right, I was getting excited. What do we got?
We'll move to the main card.
Okay.
It's a welterweight. My man Nico Price going at -140 over Alex Cowboy Oliveira. You know, this is 2 fighters that have really been struggling lately. Nico Price, he's 2-4-1 in his last 7. Oliveira 2-5 in his last 7. Interesting difference, though. Oliveira opened as the favorite in all 7 of those fights.
Interesting.
Closed as a slight dog in 2 of them, lost both of them. On the other hand, Nico Price closed as the underdog in 5 of those 7 fights. All 4 of his losses, he was an underdog. So Vegas was kind of actually expecting him to lose those, while Oliveira was expected to win them. But the biggest difference that I see in this, after looking at some statistics, is the volume that these 2 guys have been putting out lately. Oliveira's 2 wins during this 2-5 streak. Both of them came from decision. I just don't see him being able to get that done here. If you look at their last 3 fights that went 3 rounds, Oliveira against Peter Sabata, 45 significant strikes on 93 thrown. Against Max Griffin, just 40 significant strikes on 77 thrown. And against Nicholas Dalby, 18 significant strikes on a 15-minute fight on 47 thrown.
Wow.
Meanwhile, you go to Nico Price. He's going against Michael Pereira. 76 significant strikes on 180 thrown. Cowboy Cerrone, 150 significant strikes on 312 thrown. Against Vicente Luque, 129 significant strikes on 291 thrown. I mean, he's just, the volume is just, there's such a massive gap. You know Nico Price is going to go out here and throw in this one. And he was actually outstruck in 2 of those fights, the 2 that he lost. I just don't see that happening here. All of this, in addition to Nico Price's ability to knock you out at any moment, I'll take him as a slight favorite in this one.
Okay, all right.
-140, I'll take Nico Price.
That is going to be a crazy fight. Both guys.
Oh, it will.
Yes.
No, for sure. It'll be a sweater, no doubt.
Very reckless, and one of those fights that anyone can get knocked out at any time. So I look forward to that. What else? We going with Kevin Holland?
That's what I'm getting into right now.
Okay.
Final single play, the 5th and
people's
final
main
one.
event. All right. Wow. We're not touching the main, or is the main part of something else? Okay, we'll find out. Let's go with the Kevin Holland fight.
Nice tease.
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
Nice
yeah.
tease. You're starting to pick up on this.
Yeah.
All right. Yep. It's the middleweights. I will be taking Kevin Holland at -145 over Kyle Dawkins.
Okay.
I'm going against the Dawkins brother after Chris treated me so well last week.
He did.
I'm just going against all the families that earned me money. I'm sure
That's
this is going to work out well for me here. But, you know, we saw the unbelievable 2020 from Kevin Holland. He goes 5-0, 3 performances of the night, ties the most calendar wins in UFC history. Now we enter 2021. He faces Derek Brunson, loses by unanimous decision. Faces Marvin Vettori, loses by unanimous decision. But both of those guys are currently in the top 5. They're title contending middleweights. You know, look questionable on the wrestling, sure, but those are fights that he was underdogs in going into them. Now we enter Kyle Dawkins. He's much more similar to the guys that Holland was facing on that 5-fight win streak. You know, the Souzas, the Stewarts, the Buckleys that we saw in 2020. Something odd that I think about this fight is Daukaus enters the UFC at 9-0. He drops 2 of his first 3. Last time out against Phil Hawes, he does not look good at all. And he gets rewarded by facing Kevin Holland, his first ranked opponent in the UFC. You know, I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, but like it almost feels like the UFC. You said it's the people's main event. A very marketable guy in Kevin Holland, people that they like. It feels like they're setting him up for a win here. I could be totally off with that. You know, you can't obviously say for certain, but I like this matchup for Kevin Holland. The only thing that does concern me is Kyle Daukaus is a submission specialist. He's got 8 of his 10 wins by submission, and I mentioned Kevin Holland's takedown defense is not the greatest in the world. It's definitely one of his concerns. So I think if that's how it's going to get done for Daukaus, it'll be by submission. But I just think Holland, at this point, he outclasses Daukaus. He's just a step above him, and I think he gets the win here. So I'll take him at -145.
All right. I like that. An insinuation that maybe this is a tune-up fight or a gimme fight or a fight to get Mr. Holland back on track. It would make sense. And I would argue that the UFC should do more of this because you got a marketable guy who you can make money off of, who's very popular, who needs to get back on track. Sometimes they just keep throwing those guys in the deep end, and then all of a sudden we're staring at a 3, 4, 5-fight losing streak. This is the type of matchup that we should be seeing more of for a guy like Kevin Holland.
Yeah, I mean, he faces Marvin Vettori. He obviously
short notice, but fair enough. Yeah,
but he fought for the belt, and like
Right.
you know, that may be why I lost. Now, you know, Derek Brunson, if he beats Jared Cannonier, he might be fighting for the belt as well. Whereas in 2020, you know, he's fighting
a lower level, you know,
30s guys who would be ranked in the 30s, 40s,
Right.
and Kyle Daukaus is, you know, top 50, top 40 type guy. I just think it's a very similar level opponent, and I think he's going to benefit from it.
All right, I look forward to that.
All right, now we got the parlay.
Oh yeah. How many bets total here?
So we got parlay, 2 parlays, so that's 2 bets, and then 6 single plays, 8 plays.
There's only 3 in Bellator.
No, okay, no. All right, so like, if you're counting each leg of the parlay as an individual play,
oh man,
then we got 8, 6, 14.
Jeez, that's a lot.
But I'm only taking the parlay I view as one single.
Okay, fair enough. All right, what do we got?
Oh, let's start in the prelims. Let's go back to that Devontae Smith-Jamie Malarkey fight. I'm going to take this one. Fight does not go the distance at -200. That's very similar, and statistically speaking, as that Medic-Turner fight we saw last week that didn't even make it out of the first round. Devontae Smith, 13 fights, all finish inside the distance. Jamie Malarkey, 17 fights, 14 of those do not go the distance. So these guys got 30 combined pro fights, 27 have not gone the distance. I'm getting it at -200. I'll take those odds all day to throw in a parlay.
All right. I like it.
Let's move to the bantamweight. Carol Hossa, -385 over Betch Correia.
Yes.
right
Retirement fight. You better go with Betch.
I'm not going.
Come on.
I'm going with Hossa at -385.
Come on.
I mean, you just said it. It's a retirement fight. It's 2 fighters going in the complete opposite direction. Hossa on a 5-fight win streak, 3-0 to start her career in the UFC. Meanwhile, it's a retirement fight. She's got 2 wins since 2014, 2 5-1 in her last 8. I think Hossa continues to ascend, while unfortunately Correia finishes her career with a loss.
That's a bummer.
I hate to say it.
Yeah, it would have been nice. I mean, had the Ronda Rousey fight. She had the role.
Could also be wrong.
You could be wrong. That's true. That's true. It just kind of bums me out. I mean, you're on a roll. Maybe it's a sign of things to come. I'm not saying that I'm rooting. I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy in Bristol rooting against your pick with no actual investment. But you know.
All right, we'll check your timeline when Correia gets the win.
That's right.
And you're applauding her and cheering for my downfall. All right, 2 legs left in this one. Let's go to the main card. Lightweights. Alexander Hernandez -500 over Mike Breeden.
Not to be confused.
Yeah, not to be confused with Mike Breen.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's the forefront thing on everybody's mind here, confusing Mike Breeden with Mike Breen. I just don't really think Breeden has it at this level in the UFC. We saw him last year on Dana White's Contender Series. He was handed a loss. Hernandez, obviously not the most impressive, but he does have that experience in the UFC. He's got 4 wins under his belt. I just think he's the better fighter, and I think he's going to win this one in a fight that he should win. So that's the third leg. Let's finish it off. The fourth and final leg. No better way to do it than in the main event. We got the light heavyweights, Thiago Santos versus Johnny Walker.
What is the line here?
The line's very close.
Okay.
Santos is a small favorite, I think, at minus 140. But I'm actually, I'm taking the chicken parlay. Fight does not go the distance.
Is that a real thing? Chicken parlay?
No. I'm just saying. I'm scared to take the close odds. Everyone kind of heckles the guy who takes the big favorites on the parlay.
Right.
That usually leads to more parlays than cash. But I'm taking this one. Fight doesn't go the distance at minus 400. 5 of Johnny Walker's 6 UFC fights have been finished in the 6th round. 11 of his last 14 professional fights ended in the 1st round. I mean, dude does not like to hang out in the octagon. 21 of 23 professional fights have not gone the distance. On the flip side, you got Thiago Santos, 21 UFC fights for Santos, 16 of them did not go the distance. 25 minutes is going to be a 5-rounder since the main event. I think it is just way too long for these guys to stay standing. 2 kind of chinny dudes, so I think it doesn't go the distance. I'll add it. 4th and final leg at minus 400. 4 legs, that would cash us out at plus 183.
I have to say, I'm not one to sort of buy the hype, be a prisoner of the moment. But Walker, I mean, I don't know. I feel like you need to like the guy said, he hopes he takes him to the depths of hell so that he can feel comfortable. Sounds like a guy who's on the verge of winning. I mean, that's a great line right there.
I mean, it's a fantastic line. But as I mentioned earlier in this piece, talk is talk until you're in the octagon.
All right.
But it's exciting,
Yeah.
Maybe he'll just finish him and cash the parlay for us.
Now, you did a great job on your Twitter. That's at Connor Burks. There it is there. I mean, maybe we could talk about changing it to GC. We could work on that. It's probably taken at this juncture. But you did a great job of putting like a graphic prior to 266. It was nice, neat. I mean, I'm sure I haven't looked at Jedi. I'm sure he's tweeted it all already for us, unofficial member of the squad. But I feel like now with all these things, like it would be a nice little bow for the segment if we had something to just, look at that, TV 101, full screen. What do you think?
Oh, yeah. Team's already on it.
Oh, we're working on that? Do we have it?
No,
Let's
we don't.
throw to it. Okay.
No, we don't. Wow.
I mean,
wow. Now you're just really making us look.
No, you said the team's already on it.
Listen, we're on it. We're in the process of developing the graphic.
The look, the feel, all that stuff. All right. Well, I look forward on Monday. I was going to say, like, as usual, on Monday, we'll check in and see how you did. We've only done it once, so I can't really say as usual, but this will be a thing. And stay tuned. I think there's going to be more of this on the program. I hope everyone's enjoying it. They seem to have last time, so let's see how you do.
All right. Sounds good to me.
Good luck.
See you on Monday.
There he is, GC and Helwani. Great stuff, as always, from our man, Georgia Connor.